Okay, let me go. Hey, y'all. We are live with some strong light today. Hold on, YouTube. Let me, hold on, guys. I have a new setup in here. Let me, hold on. Let me tell Twitter and Instagram that I am live right now. So give me a second. Y'all check on in. Y'all check on in. Lord. All right. How do I? Oh my gosh. Okay. It might not be happening with Twitter. Oh, here we go. All right. We are live. We are live. Live on YouTube. Hit the link. All right. Now, I should have had this prepped before, guys. I'm sorry about that. I could give you 101 excuses. Hold on. Y'all, I can't type and do this at the same time. Okay. YouTube. Bear with me. This won't happen next week. I promise. If I do it next week, we might have a little week off, or I just might surprise you guys with something. All right, youtube.com. Oh, Twitter. Who is still on Twitter? Is this worth my time? Okay. All right, that. Homeschool. Yeah, I'm misspelling everything because I have very wide nail beds. That homeschool life. And so one finger touches two keys. All right, tweet. That homeschool life with Niki. Well, I hope that went through. All right, now let me let the Graham know I'm about to get on. And we, all right, live. All right. I'm growing, guys. I'm growing. All right. Where's my fan? I got all this hair on and this silk shirt. I need a fan on. All right. Get my Beyonce on. Oh, that's too loud. Are you guys ready to talk about popular things that we don't do? I'm including you guys into this. All right. Hey, Instagram, it's Niki with our Homeschool Life. We are live with our YouTube peeps, so join us. You can always mosey on over to YouTube or hang out here. Either way, we got love for you. Okay, so here, I'm trying to move this so I can see Instagram and YouTube folks at the same. Woo, that light was bright. Looked like Elvira. All right, guys, let me see here. I look better on IG than on YouTube. Hold on. Let's turn some of this stuff off and back it up. All right, guys. Right. We're about to break bread. You know, I can't do anything small. I'm from Texas. Everything is bigger, y'all. We about to break bread tonight. Big old baguette. And talk. Let me take a little sip of my tea, which I don't need because it's hot in here. Hey, Mrs. Smith, since 08. All right, y'all got 10 plus years in. Pink Planner. Alina, I love your name. What's up, girl? Okay, before I, I wasn't even live on IG. Y'all, that's a mess. Okay, so first, last week, hey IG, we're live on Instagram and YouTube. This is our Friday night hot topic. We are talking about popular homeschool things that we, because y'all gonna join in with this, popular homeschool things we don't do. I don't even have my wedding band on. Oh, where is it? All right. So before we get into that, last week, first of all, let me apologize for being late. I was trying to get all this stuff printed and done, and then my kids were like, Mom, our connection's bad, because they're in class right now, an online class. So first things first. So last week I changed the time. We I got on a little bit late. So I didn't have as many people on, but I had just enough. I had 99 people. And if I include myself, that makes 100. So I gave y'all 100. And so I made a freebie for y'all. So what I did, since last week we talked about homeschooling, multiple ages, grades, and what else was it? Ages, grades, and kids. Now this is free. I just printed out something for 3rd and 4th graders. Remember, we were talking about how, one of the ways of being able to homeschool lots of, different kids is really giving your kids independent work and training them to be able to work independently. And so one thing that has helped me on that journey, shout out to Ralph Smart, is doing some kind of daily work. And so I made this for y'all, little darlings, this morning. I made it. And it is number of the day. Number of the day. Now, I do have a link down below. Hold on. Okay, let me do it like this. I have a link down below in the description box, so you guys can cop that. I didn't print out. Oh, that's an old version. I'm showing Instagram. I didn't print out instructions because, like I said, I was trying to hurry up and get on, and I had a long day. But I will, over the weekend, update this with the instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory. You choose a number, a 4-digit number that goes up here in the sun for your day. And you use that 4-digit number for all of the different tasks around here. I'm not going to go through it all right now. I will at the end if you guys have time and you want to me to explain it. Otherwise, I'll print out an instruction sheet and I'll make an example sheet too, so you know how to fill it out. And then that way you'll have that good to go. So that is yours. It is free, as well as my daily checklist to help you get your homeschool running smoothly. So don't say I never gave y'all nothing for free. All right. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I want to say, hey, Flower Patch School, and hey, Hassan, I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. And Anessa, hey, guys. So I want to preface this by saying, just because somebody, namely me in this case, doesn't do something doesn't mean I don't like what other people are doing. There are a number of reasons why someone is not doing something that's popular. Number one, they walk to their own tune. Number two, sometimes there were things I wanted to do, but I didn't have the time to do it. I didn't want to put, my kids might have liked it, but I didn't really feel like doing it. Or vice versa. So if there was a little dissonance on that, I put it on the back burner thinking maybe we can get around to it next semester or next year. So a lot of these popular things, I might be interested in it, but I think it's either going to take up too much of my time, or I don't know. I don't think it'll benefit all of my kids. And right now I have to weigh, the biggest bang for my time. And then also sometimes I think it's extra stuff, so nothing required, and so it's a luxury. If we can, we will. So I'll get started with some of mine. While you're in the chat, feel free to punch in things that you've either done and you've stopped doing, or you never had any desire to do it, or you're thinking, well, maybe next year. Maybe we have some more money, or once the baby's born, or once the kids are older, whatever, insert your reason, but you're just not doing it. Okay. Hey, Aaron, what's up? All right. So, Aaron, since you just came in, or you might've been you're just now in the chat. The freebie is a number of the day math. It's a math daily activity worksheet for 3rd and 4th graders, or for your kids, probably first and 2nd grade. All right. So number 1, co-ops. I don't do co-ops. I know co-ops are essential for a lot of people. That's how your child gets out to socialize. It might be a way for you as the parent to get out and socialize with other adults. For me, I tried one when I was only homeschooling my oldest son. My other two, one was in public kinder, and then the youngest was in preschool. And I was taught, and see, you know what? They were scoping me out. I was at the park. They were scoping me out, and because it was a group of kids, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they homeschool. They must. And so eventually one of the moms came, put her kid in the swing next to me, and we started talking. And she seemed really, really cool. But then she started, now I'm from Texas, so I'm used to people being nosy, you know, asking you like, what church do you go to? Or what does your husband do? Or, you know, nosy little questions, fishing questions. So she started asking me, you know, these questions. And I was like, I feel like I'm being tested. And then, so apparently I answered one of the questions incorrectly. And she was like, oh, you know, there's so many other things around here that, you know, people can do and be interested in. And I kid you not, she, like when she started talking like that, she immediately looked like someone from Children of the Corn. Like her whole demeanor changed on me. And I was like, you know, like in those vampire movies, you think you're talking to a human, and then you kind of get the feeling you're being watched, and then you blink your eyes, and then all of a sudden, all you see are fangs and your life leaving you. So I was, oh my gosh, that was a bullet dodge. But my girlfriend had joined, and she did it for a semester, and it was very dogmatic. It was very time consuming. You know, depending on the co-op, you know, you have to devote a day or two of your time. You're either required to teach something or volunteer or just whatever. So just a lot of dogma, a lot of work, especially if your co-op is not organized, you don't get your finances straight, you know, a lot of that stuff can kind of blow back in your face. Now, there are successful co-ops. I've seen more unsuccessful or poorly run co-ops than I've seen successful ones. So that's just me. That's just me. I know there are some good ones out there, but just not in my neck of the woods. Let's see. I don't do homeschool only extracurriculars. Oh, we're about to get to that, Erin. Girl, you looking at my list. Pink Planner says co-ops are not our thing either. Yeah. You know, it's almost like, you know how someone, you know, people rave about a certain kind of school. Oh, that's the school to get in or whatever. And then, you know, people who are there and they're like, our teachers suck, you know, or you go to a school that gets overlooked, you know, might be a lower ranked school or a Title IX school or whatever. But your child might have the most amazing teacher who gives her all. So you just don't know until you get in, and you just don't know. Sometimes you have to try it on. But she tried me on when she went cold Children of the Corn on me. I was like, oh, we out. All right. Co-ops are so much drama too. That's another thing. You know, it starts to get cliquish. You know how women are. They get really cliquish and petty. And, you know, some of those co-ops, I'm not going to say any, but they're on the west side in LA. You know, they start eyeballs looking at your husband. You know, it gets pretty Real Housewives after a while. All right, so those co-ops. So that's number one. Number two, doing pictures for the first day of school. Now, I used to do that. You know, everyone takes the pictures and they have the little poster board or the little thing from Target, the chalkboard that says, you know, age, name, you know, their favorite subjects, all of that. I did that for a couple of years. And then like this year, I was like, my kid's hair, you know, was never combed, and I wanted to do it in front of the house, but the house was messy because it was under renovation. You know, the workers had stuff everywhere. So I was like, well, I know what y'all look like, so we'll take pictures throughout the year. So, and I try to do a yearbook, which I fail miserably. I have everything kind of organized. I just haven't put it all together yet. But I don't do pick the first day of school or the last day of school pictures. I'm just kind of over it. It was great when my kids were in elementary school. Maybe when they're in a high school, once in middle school, maybe once in high school, so I can really see the drastic change. But now I'm like, we take so many pictures. I don't care. What do you guys think? Do you guys still do that? I know some of you moms who are really into your pictures and your Instagram and, you know, the setting everything up just right. I know that's important to a lot of moms. I don't do it. I don't do that. School pictures are cool though. They are cool. But when you think about it, it looks the same every year. I mean, unless you're doing like kindergarten and then 5th grade, And then like 8th grade, where you can really see the changes. You know, I don't know, when I had my first son, just one baby, I would do the picture every month where he had like a really big, tall Elmo. So he would sit on the couch. My baby would sit on the couch, and he would sit next to this big, tall Elmo that my sister gave me. And so every month, the first of the month, I would take a picture of him. I did it for 5 months, and the growth was so drastic. He was like almost as tall as Elmo. No, I think I did it before his first birthday. So that, it was like, wow, I could really see the differences. But after like 3rd grade, I didn't really see that much of a change with my kids. But to each his own. This was really the first year I was like, let's go get something to eat. So anyone else? I love taking pictures for the extended family. Oh yeah, that's true. You know what? You can ask my sister. I'm bad with pictures. If I weren't on IG, you would see I have 22,000 pictures on my phone. I take pictures, they go into a black hole, and I don't do anything with them. I'm really bad with that, and I need to do better with getting their life off of the film and putting it in full paper form so my kids can see that they did exist and do things. So that's something I need to work on, y'all. That's something I need to work on. Y'all help me. Maybe I can get the love back for those first day pictures. Okay, let's see. I like my kids to learn to socialize and compete with their peers that are in the community at large. Homeschoolers are a small percentage of the nation's kiddos. Yep, all that is true. And that's another thing. When people talk about socialization with homeschoolers, I find, unless you're like children of the corn, never leave the house, like, or your room, you know, just that kind of homeschooler, I find homeschoolers are some of the most well socialized children, because they're interacting with older people, like adults, elders, younger people. They're maybe having to teach younger kids, older kids. So that's a lot of leadership exposure, leadership practice, collaboration, problem solving, you know, and just learning how to deal with different personalities. So people think, you know, our kids are like bottled up and, you know, one-dimensional. I find that that's just the opposite. Okay. I had a mom fall out with me over an end of year ceremony. She didn't want me to help because she felt I would overshadow her, and she wanted all the accolades. Yeah, that you run into that with co-ops. You have, you know, you have type A moms, and you'll find those anywhere. I saw them when I was in public school. I was a type A mom, but I was a nice type A friendly mom. And I always acknowledge my faults. That's how I disarm people, and then they would let me do stuff. So, you know, it's that the Sun Tzu Jedi mind trick. But yeah, you start getting into that competition, and then it's like for petty stuff like decorations. So you competing over some fall leaves, like, you know. So yeah, I just leave that alone. Okay. Oh, you guys are active in here. I never did the first day of school pics either. I remember one of your IG posts, Aaron, talking about that. I just take too many pictures already. Yep. Hassan, I got a 2nd grade pic of me, and I still look the same, more or less, just clean cut. See, Hassan, that's why women don't like you. You have those genes where you just stop aging after 5th grade. So we don't care about you. You're gonna look like a 5th grader for the rest of your life. But you had a beard, yeah. All right, so what else? I said co-ops, pictures of the first day. If I'm being, no, I'm gonna save this one for last. Crafts. Now that's an easy one for me, arts and crafts, because I got 3 boys. And let me tell you, when I really realized how much I wasn't doing arts and crafts, when my youngest one was at a charter homeschool, he was in kindergarten, and that was when Common Core was really starting to creep in. And so they did a lot of drawing for everything, for math, for reading, everything. And I remember I picked him up from school, and so sweetly he said, as he was like opening up his little lunchbox to see if he had anything left over to eat. He was greedy then, he's still greedy now. He was like, "Mommy, can you teach me how to draw? Because I can't do snowmans really well." And I was like, oh Lord, I done failed my baby. He can't draw. I was imagining how he felt in class, and he couldn't make his circles just right. Come to find out, my son was a perfectionist. So just so I was like, wow. So I went and got all of these coloring books, drawing books like Ed Emberley, which, okay, sidebar, for those of you into math, Ed Emberley teaches drawing using geometric shapes, and I love it. So, once you know how to draw a square, a circle, a triangle, and a rectangle, and an oval, the world is yours. You can draw everything. And that's what he did. So, baby, we had stencils at first because he's a perfectionist. He had to have all his lines touch. So we used stencils, and then after that, it was free flowing. But it took like a month and a half because there was some pushback. So we don't do arts and crafts. We do experiments. To me, my kids always say, Mom, we're not drinking smoothies. We drink shakes. That's what men drink because they watch a lot of sports. And Aaron Donald, who plays for the Los Angeles Rams football team, he was being interviewed, and someone asked about the smoothie machine, and he was like offended. He was like, oh, we don't do smoothies. We drink shakes. So my kids don't do arts and crafts. They do experiments, or they create. So I do have glitter. I have embellishments and things like that. But for them, it's stuff to like put on things they create. So we don't do arts and crafts. I know some of you guys live by arts and crafts. I love arts and crafts in theory, but it's hard to actually implement. I like kits they can do on their own. And that's another thing. When we go back to reasons why we don't do things that are popular, for me, it's time. I know for arts and crafts, and to clarify, like if it's like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, they have those little crafts in a little bag, and everything's together. It's not intensive, and I can just drop and then go, and the kids can kind of figure it out on their own. Something like that they can do. But other arts and crafts where it gets involved, it's work. And then of course my kids never do anything nice and neat. They have to be big. They have to put aerodynamics behind it. So we'll have glitter everywhere, glue here. Next thing you know, they drift off throughout the house to see what else they can arts and crafts, up. So it gets to be me yelling and saying no, and why are all my scarves, tied in knots with glitter, a glitter train glued onto it. I just don't. So no, I don't do arts and crafts. I know they're popular. I don't do them. Let's see. We do a lot of crafts, but I still have little ones. I also teach art class to other homeschool students on Monday. Now that, to me, I should clarify arts and crafts. Like my kids started taking an art class maybe 3 years ago, and they loved it, but they hadn't really been exposed to it that much. So it was like something welcome to them. But the woman who taught was a master artist, and she had them doing, all kinds of just beautiful works of art. And as a matter of fact, and she just wrote a book about arts for kids. We've had some wonderful teachers, and she just she wrote a book too. She's really into that creative space. So not only would she teach them arts, she would like get them excited and curious, and just try to get them to be artists in their own way. So I think grown up kind of art, forgive me, don't stone me, my kids are okay, but for the the little glue here, sprinkle here, my kids aren't feeling that. Arts and crafts should not be deprived. No, Hassan, you're right, but you have to determine what's the purpose of the arts and crafts. When you have little ones, they're working their fine motor skills, right? They're also learning how to sit still, which is a skill, for an extended period of time. And then they're also working on their creativity. Seasonal arts and crafts, that helps to teach them about the seasons. They associate, cold and snowman with, December and January. They associate summer by doing, a beach ball, or, whatever crafts you do for summer. So it is good for associations and things like that. But I think as the kids get older, at least for me, there has to be some meaning behind it. Otherwise, I would rather them do like real art, not just, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just what I see. I think it's just kind of busy work in an artistic form versus them just tinkering. Maybe I'm using the wrong label. Like we have lots of tissue paper rolls, toilet paper rolls. We have all kinds. We have a maker space room actually. So technically that could be like an art and craft. They're working on a craft. I think in my mind, I'm thinking of the like, you know, the little cut and glue and, you know, hot glue and stuff like that. But in terms of just the arts, we need to bring that back. I'm talking about woodworking. Like my oldest son did a woodworking workshop for 6 or 7 weeks. He actually made like a jewelry box for me. So I guess that is a craft. So I guess I'm thinking more in lines. I don't think of them as crafts. I just think of them as a trade. So woodworking and circuitry and stuff like that. So maybe I need to revamp what I call that. Okay. Hey, color crazy Maria. All right, let's see. Right. Okay. Yeah, no, but you are right. Because they took the arts and crafts out of the schools. And so I think I'm just associating. I'm gonna be honest. I got boys. So when I see arts and crafts, I think of the little stuff at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, all that pink and purple stuff. I think of this. I think of all this kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's cute. It's cute, but where's the art in that? So maybe that's me hating on all y'all with girls. I don't know. It could be. But let's move on. Okay. Morning baskets. Now, I used to do morning baskets. I didn't know what I was doing. I just threw a whole bunch of stuff in a basket because that's what all the Facebook group said, the homeschool forums, they all said, oh, this is essential. This does this. And you got to have, you know, your Bible verses and your Charlotte Mason books and some nature stuff and, you know, a comet and a polar bear. Everything but the kitchen sink was in that morning basket. Child. Morning baskets worked when I homeschooled 2 of my kids, and my youngest one was in preschool. Now, with that morning basket, see, now you guys know I used to have an old YouTube channel called California Homeschool Mom. I'm still trying to migrate those old videos. I pulled them down. I'm trying to put them back up. I did a video where I would have like calendar time, and I had this 3 panel, you know, poster board, and I would have all the different things that kids really need to be learning. Days of the week, months of the year, how to tell tie, you know, counting money, things like that. And that was great. That was like our morning basket time because I would have the manipulatives in the basket and they would have to like, you know, put the things. I also had character traits up there as well. So they would have to like put, you know, match the things up there. And so that was fun. And then we would have like, you know, a couple of books. We would go to the library and that would kind of like be our day. And then after a while, you know, they would learn the stuff. And then remember, my middle son is on the spectrum. So morning basket was like a morning track meet basket. So we'll do like, we would read like maybe 1 page and something. But by the time I finished that paragraph, he was already down the hallway on his 5th row. So I would just have my oldest one right in front of me. And then, so it was like ping pong back and forth. So we tried it. I liked the merits of it. I think it can work, but I found what worked for us was, I like the concept. You get together at whatever time and you're doing things together as a family. So there's a lot that comes into play. It's that family bonding, you know, building that kinship up and then building a routine up. For me, after a while, we kind of morphed into me checking time with my kids and just seeing like how they were feeling that day. If they were remembering things from past lessons, it was kind of like a check-in with your kids kind of thing. And now our morning basket, well, it's not even a morning basket, has evolved into us just talking about current events, right? And then with the current events, I can weave in things to kind of see how what's going on in their life. And you can kind of tell how eventually your kids start to respond to you in their body language. But the morning basket, it got to be something extra, something for me to remember. Oh, did I put this in the basket? Or, oh, it's, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and this child has therapy, and this one has a preschool. So it was a lot of, but I still had the basket. I always had books in it, but that was it. So what do you guys think? I do like morning baskets. I just didn't get it to work for us for longer than maybe 3 months. And then once my kids got a little older, we switched to games. And I would have wait a minute, I am doing morning basket. Dang it, it got me. But it's games. I literally have a square basket. If y'all watch one of my homeschool room tour, I have a basket with 4 games. And usually like at least 2 of them are like some kind of subject-based game, a math game or like a grammar game or geography game, and then like a fun game and some dice games for math. So they can go and choose what they want from the basket and go play either individually or with their siblings. So I am doing morning baskets. Does that count? I don't know. What y'all think? Let's see. Make and take art. Now that I can do if it's something more than gluing, because my kids want to hammer, they want to cut, they want to saw, they want to solder, they want to do the stuff that we did growing up. If you went to shop or if you just passed by a shop and just looked in at the boys and then you saw what they were doing with the carpentry stuff and the welding, they want to do that kind of stuff. I do kitchen projects like baking, but that isn't necessarily considered arts and crafts. Cooking is a craft. It's an art too, girl. My kids are creative to a point where I don't have to facilitate or create lessons. That's another thing. How much of the art and crafts do you want to be child-led or teacher-directed? Like for my kids, child, they take broken stuff and just create stuff out of it. Like they dig in my trash can. I gotta make sure I don't have certain stuff in my trash can because they'll dig in it. Oh, there's something bright and shiny in there. And there you go. I can look. I can just grab something in here. And now these, I swear by these for my hands because I garden. Now this one's almost empty. And my kids know that. But my kids like this because they do these battle games. And with these battles, this is like, okay, my youngest one, if y'all saw my IG, he's into aliens. To him, this is like, and this is green too. I'm gonna have to hide this because he's gonna take this. But this is like an alien spaceship. And they will doctor this up. They will punch a hole through here and they will make this an alien spaceship. They'll come up with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, this is the green one. I might have to hide this, put it in here for now. Hide it from him. So anyway, but let me see what else we have. I tried morning baskets, but it took all day and it felt unnatural to my daily flow. Yes. No, I know a number of Christian moms. And shout out to my Christian moms because some of y'all got things on lock. You got your kids doing morning baskets, and then after that, they have breakfast, and after breakfast, they clean up after themselves. And then after that, they get started with their lessons, and it's like, it is a ship. It's like boot camp. Salute to you moms because you guys got it on lock. I ain't that disciplined and I yell too much. So shout out to you guys that can do that. Hassan, yes, I used to make African wood medallions, even made some with the cloth, like Flavor Flav. Wait, how old were you when you did that, Hassan? Were you in high school, like in shop? See, that's what they need to bring back is just, because you're connecting with nature, you're being creative, you're using those fine motor skills. And if you remember from one of my previous conversations, I was telling you that in Europe, they have a crisis with their surgeons. Their surgeons are so weak with their fingers, their fine motor skills, they can't do surgery that takes, I think, longer than 2 hours. They don't have the muscular stamina to do that. So, and the strength, it's strength and stamina, right? So so it's never, you know, you're not too old to do things where you're using your fingers, right? You're not too old. Hi, Homeschool Castle. Let's see. I do them with games and books. Yes. Okay. So I was saying, so I think this is the updated Morning Basket. Because remember now, Morning Basket, I think that's a Charlotte Mason approach to homeschool. So nothing like making a fusion of older practices from the turn of the 19th century. I think Charlotte Mason was late 1800s, early 1900s, and you know, melding that into something more modern. So I think Morning Baskets could definitely be the games and books. Homeschool Castle, definitely books, but for games. So that's what we do. So, well, no, because I'm not there. It's really for my kids to grab, depending on how they're feeling, and then they go and play. Now, if I see in the morning 2 of the kids playing Connect 4, I'm like, it's gonna be a good day. They're already connecting, and no one's yelling and fussing and fighting. And my kids don't do that all the time, but I really like to see it when they're all just playing together in the morning, and it just makes my heart happy as a mom to see that. Okay, let's see. We love morning baskets. I put an hour time limit on it, and we rotate from 2 to 5 subjects. So Flower Patch School, what does that look like? So when you say 2 to 5, you were 14, Hassan? Okay, that's about my son's age. Yeah, those were the days. So when you say 2 to 5 subjects, so when I was doing the morning basket, we would of course do reading, and then for math, I would have cubes, and we would like count cubes, do like, you know, 1-to-1 correspondence and all that kind of stuff. And then we had character trait cards. No, we had alphabet cards. So each alphabet was an exercise. So A was like a jumping jack that you had to hold up like that. C, you had to like walk like a zombie, you know, like the letter C. So those were fun. So those cards I kept in the basket. We didn't do anything for writing at that time, and I don't know. So, but yeah, you can definitely, you know, get your different subjects in. It's a matter of do you want to do your academic subjects or something extracurricular, or you know, the more liberal things like poetry, songs. I know some people do memory work like that. So lots of ways you can like skin that cat. For me, it's so much easier. I have 2 baskets, one for the older girls and one for the younger kids. That's a good thing to do. I should have had one for the on-the-go kid and then one for the other kids. Are you guys doing a full curriculum? How do you still have time for morning baskets without burning the kids out? We don't do morning baskets. Back when we did do it, I think morning baskets are great for littles, especially if you get them outside and you know you do a lot of exploration. You know, kids tire out, and kids don't need, they only need a few hours each day to be learning. When my kids got older, you know, my son, like when he was in 5th grade, he was doing online classes, and I always had his classes start at 8, 9 at the latest, because we would always have extracurriculars outside the house, and I wanted to make sure none of those obligations interfere with his online class. So he always had a class 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at the latest. So, and this leads to one of my other things about what we don't do. I used to have him up at the crack of dawn. I'm an early riser. I'm always up 4:30, 5 o'clock. I used to be in the gym, my gym class at 5. I'm just naturally up early. That ain't my kids. So, you know, I've kind of just relaxed on that, especially as my oldest kid got closer to middle school, because during those years, those teens, they need a lot more sleep. You know, there's the power in sleep, and the children, those young teens, they need all of that sleep time because they're doing a lot of growing, a lot of hormones are going on, and they need that sleep. So morning baskets, you know, that kind of fell by the wayside because, you know, we didn't do them in the morning when you can get everyone corralled together and then go off to, you know, teach your kids what you needed to teach. Hey, what's up, Carla, the sensational makeup by Zoe? Hello, ladies. So for all my IG people, we're talking about popular things we don't do. So far, we talked about co-ops, morning basket, arts and crafts, and I think that's it. So, pictures on the first day of school, curriculum. Now I call myself an eclectic homeschooler. Eclectic meaning I take from any of the methods or philosophies and apply what works for us, whether it's classical, Charlotte Mason, unschooling, unit studies, excuse me, what have you. And I've noticed that I've been kind of drifting toward unschooling. Now, I've kind of had like a little side eye with some unschoolers, because at a charter homeschool we went to for a couple of years, there were a lot of unschoolers, and to me it looked like unparenting, because the child really ruled the mom or the dad, and it was very obvious. So I had a not good first impression of unschoolers. They were also very entitled rich kids, and they would come to school late because they didn't feel like waking up to be at school at 9:30, and the mom was like begging, making excuses. So, but I've seen a lot of other unschoolers, and I've seen what they can do. I've been following Sue Patterson recently, and I'm really liking that. I know Tori from Oglesby, Ohana. She unschools. Serena from the Fall Co Kids. She's an unschooler. So I like seeing that approach to unschooling, and I find that as I'm getting more confident about my kids, because they're older now, I can start seeing traits that are going to be with them, and our homeschool vision has changed. Now we have a more entrepreneurial mindset. We're not so caught up. Well, I'm not so caught up on we have to go. These are the only schools that we're gonna go to, and this is all of this. I was that kind of tiger mom, and now that we've come to a consensus on what drives the kids, I feel I can just sit back and I can unschool and feel confident that they have actually, y'all. By the time your kids are in middle school, they really have most of the life skills and academic skills that they're really going to use throughout life, really, unless they're trying to be an engineer or something like that. So that's a whole nother story. So what was I saying? What was it, y'all? What did I say? I forgot. Y'all help me out. What was that one I was just saying? Oh, curriculum. So a popular thing is when you homeschool, you got to buy all this curriculum and all-in-one or this whole package, or my first live on here was, are you a curriculum hopper? It is exhausting. There's so much out there, and you get drawn in and you spend hours and hours on forums and Pinterest, researching and seeing what parents are doing. And I feel like now people in the 1900s, the 1800s, that wrote better, did math better than us, had way less, and they did so much more. And I feel like I want to move toward a more minimalist type of homeschool. And right now, I can't get rid of my curriculum. I'm like, what if I have grandbabies and I might have to homeschool them or something because my sons, want to save the people and their wives want to be home. I'm like, I might have to homeschool my grandbabies, so I don't want to let it go. But as you guys have seen my evolution on YouTube, my kids, they've moved me more toward a literature-based homeschool. And so we don't really need worksheets and textbooks and things like that. I just changed our science curriculum to something that was more living books related. And because my kids said this stuff was too textbook-like. So curriculum, you don't have to have curriculum. You definitely don't have to have new shiny curriculum. I buy stuff that's written in. So long as I can erase it, we're good to go. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Hey, Zoe. Wait, were you just on IG? If so, welcome, girl. Okay, I agree with you, Niki. I think too many moms are overdoing it with frivolous content that adds extra to the workload that the kids probably don't retain in the long term. Exactly. It goes to the parents that do the sports, their kids play sports, and the kids are just playing because the parents are trying to live through them. I feel like that is the case sometimes with parents, and whether it's morning basket or a curriculum, they, they're not even looking at the child in front of them and thinking, is this really going to advance something with my child? Is this going to help my child in some way, shape, or form? They might just want to do it because they were told to do it, and they want to, like with co-ops, they want to keep up with the Joneses. So, you have those elements that come into play. I've been doing math and then letting them loose for interest-led learning. Since COVID, we were just over a lot of structure, and we decided to start letting them have more space to focus on passion. That's a good point that Aaron brought up. California, no prize here, but this state that I'm in has been under lockdown the longest out of all the states, and we've had the most restrictive lockdown procedures, and we're about to bring that back again, I think in the next week or two, with curfews. So we've really been under lock and key, and after a while, that really takes a toll on you. So I've been more relaxed with my kids, and like you, Aaron, doing more interest-led things. When I did a video on Lakeshore, the teacher school, and I bought this little maker stand, and I kind of dropped the ball because, so I had a lot going on. We were coming out of a renovation. Then our house got flooded. Then I got sick, and then I tore muscles in my bicep and my shoulder. By the way, I had physical therapy today, and I haven't had pain in almost 2 weeks. No surgery. My doctor wanted me to get surgery so he can buy him another beach house, whatever. So all of that, and I was like, you know what? now that I see my kids they're really into the entrepreneurial spirit. They want to create. It's going to be a different world for our kids. I mean, the whole workforce is going to be different by the time our kids graduate. And so my kids, they really want to make money doing something that they like. And so we've moved toward turning our dining room, because they were serious, turning our dining room into a maker's, we call it the shop. So it's partially under construction and a little bit used because I haven't had time. I got a couple of jobs, a homeschool, and then, I got to run the house. It's a lot going on. So with the break coming on, I'll be able to get us back into like making our products and all of that good stuff. So like you said, Aaron, I think letting them hit those essentials, reading, writing, and math, minimum, and then letting them go into something that they're interested in with direction, I think it's a really, really great ideal if you can swing that. Because if you notice, a lot of colleges now, they're asking for projects that kids are working on. Kids are working on research projects, passion projects. It's kind of rare, but I see the trend. I see where it's going. I sit in all these seminars with all these schools and counselors and deans and stuff, and I see that coming down the pipeline. So they don't want those cookie cutter factory kids who are brilliant, but they can't problem solve out of a paper bag. You can probably loosen up because you put the work in during the early years, but I would never unschool with young children. I think they need the structure and routine and the rigor as well. So here's the thing with unschooling, as I'm learning about it. I think really everybody needs some kind of structure and routine to have some kind of parameter, so you're not just out there. And then once you kind of have that comfort that, okay, this is what this is, I can move any way I want to. So, and the reason why I say that is it's like you have a teen who's very, very rich, right? Their parents are very rich, and the parent, they buy them a Porsche at 16. They've been around the world. They have $500 shoes, $3,000 handbags. They have no structure, meaning anything goes. And so that's how I feel with some homeschooling. If you don't have some kind of, not like a box, but just some kind of framework that you work in, and then you can kind of go crazy within that framework. The framework keeps you from hurting yourself, cultivating bad habits, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So with like the rich teen, if they had a framework of, okay, your car can't cost more than $20,000, or you can buy these really expensive shoes, you know, every 4 or 5 months, or you have to do this to get that. So they can still get those things. They just now they have incentives and they have life skills kind of built in to attain that. It's just not a wild, wild west. But like what I've seen with homeschooling for the younger kids, the kids just decide everything. What I've seen successfully with the younger kids now is that the parents will say, okay, you're not going to decide that you're not going to do something. Here are 6 things you can do. You decide what you want to do and what order you want to do it in. So there's a little give and take, you know, because young kids are still developing so many different things, and that's too much to put on them. That's like an information sensory overload. So yeah, no, I do agree with you, team. One day I spent all day having conversations about what to expect when you become an adult. That was our school day. Life skills. I tell you, we don't homeschool on Fridays. We have life skills on Friday. We have those conversations. As a matter of fact, I posted on IG a while back, my son, he and his friend were welding because his friend was putting together a car from scratch, a 1984 Trans Am. And so we started having these conversations about, no, I'm old school. I'm a woman of a particular age, and I'm from the South. And I believe men have certain roles and women have certain roles. The roles for men: provider, protector; woman, nurturer, and giver of life, and manager. She manages everything, right? But she rules through submission. So we can get the layers in that. But with the children nowadays, you know, they're so frail. They don't respond to criticism or adversity or just anything that's not tied to, you know, a device or, you know, all the things that they do. So on Fridays, we have our life skills and we have discussions, as you've said. We do that all the time, actually, but really directed because my kids are getting older. So we have discussions about things going on in the world, how it relates to us and how to act, how to behave. We also have this, like, we didn't do it today because I had physical therapy in the middle of the day. And then my husband had physical therapy right after me for his shoulder and his knee. So we didn't get anything done. But next week, you know, I'm teaching them like some prepper activities. Like you need to know at least 3 ways to start a fire. They know one way is the cheating way with the flint. But now I have like the little bowl and the rod. And then I have the little solar aluminum bowl with the little coil on top. So they need to know how to start a fire 3 different ways. You know, after that, you know, we're going to slowly start learning how to build, because if you put like this, if your wife wants a new bathroom and if you can build that bathroom for her, you are a bad ASS. Now, when we redid our bathroom, there were 2 guys that came in, and one of them, he's been with us for over a year. And I was asking him, but how do you know this? He knows how to do everything, a general handyman. And he was like, you know, I dropped out of school in like 9th or 10th grade and my math was bad. But, you know, he went through, like, they have this thing called Ciroc, which is like a trade school for high schoolers. And then, like, you know, I think community college kids. And he learned through that, just trial and error. He said, you know, some old men took me on and I learned by doing. And this man with this little helper built this beautiful, amazing bathroom. And I was sitting here watching him pulling out the ruler, the measuring and doing all the cuts and the measurements. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, you could build your family a house or whatever they needed, you could build it. So there's something about seeing, you know, men especially, you know, women get in there, but seeing men being able to do these things that we've taken for granted. That's why I say on Fridays, we have to have these kinds of skills. We have to. Anybody can sit at a desk and push a pencil. Okay, go ahead, Nikki. Preach out. I'm with you on the gender roles. Yes, I love prepper schooling. Ooh, that's a good name, Erin. Prepper schooling. Yeah. like I haven't put a video up because I'm so scared with canning. I've only done it twice. But once I feel better with it, then I'll bring them in so we can start canning. Right now, I'm like, my kids would have us blowing up the roof off our house. Preserves, now I want to get into, not preserves, dehydrating. Oh, someone put me on, shout out to Robert from Turf Therapy. He put me on to hydroponics, just growing your plants in water. So there's so much out there. I feel like we're going to go back to Little House on the Prairie. All right. Okay, guys, come on. I got a whole bunch of stuff on here. All right, other things I don't do. I don't follow a school calendar or a school schedule for the day. In the beginning, all I knew was school. So we would get up, we would start school around 8:30, be done at 3, have lunch in the middle, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that anymore. There are some semesters where I let my kids sleep in until 10 o'clock because I feel that's what they need. They're kind of run down. They might have a lot of activities, or, maybe 2 of my kids have some challenging classes. So I let them sleep in. Also, they're growing. They need more sleep. So I let them sleep in. And and that's one reason why I started that kind of game box, because, one kid gets up, other 2 are sleeping. They can go get something and, do whatever they want. But, and then the school calendar, we kind of homeschool year round. Like going into this week, this Thanksgiving break, we're not breaking. We'll do a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the afternoon. And the kids know that's just how I roll. Learning, you don't take off from learning. It doesn't have to be boring or anything. I'm like, look, go rediscover some books, or some projects you've been playing with, you haven't touched in a while, go pull those out and get going with that. But we're not just going to just be watching TV all day. And I've done that. But we're not going to just be, blah, 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 kill brain cells, all day. So we school all year round. That's why my oldest son, he'll be finished with high school math this next summer. He will have completed all 4 years of high school because he went to school year round. And I didn't require a lot. And I would let him do less because I knew what he was doing was more advanced. It was harder, more taxing. So I would let him sleep in, just not on the days when he had his 8 o'clock classes. And so it's a give and take. It's a give and take. But yeah, we go all year round, and we don't hit every subject every day. Usually summertime. Remember that Shakespeare unit I was telling y'all about? Ask me how far we got on that. We just really finished Midsummer Night's Dream. We did 2 versions of it, and we did some memory work, and that's all I was able to do. So instead of me trying to get a couple of more plays in, hey baby, you want to say hi to the peeps?
No, I'm just hungry.
Yeah, there's no candy in here. Y'all ate it all. All right. Oh, I know. Dad said he was going to Buca de Pepa. All right. I don't want anything though. We have a little family tradition now where we watch The Mandalorian with dinner, and let's see. Oh, we're good on time. It's only 5:18. So anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying? I have the memory of a gnat. Wait, I need the memory of Ellie. Wait, I was supposed to put her up here for inspiration. I need the memory of this elephant. She got her little nose ring, her little Tesca ring on, and her little earrings, which are my bracelets. Oh, I'm supposed to be wearing this. Y'all know I'm doing a challenge by myself because nobody wants to do it with me. I ain't gonna say no names. I have to wear everything in my closet, in my bathroom, in my everywhere, everything. So what was I saying? Oh, the hydroponics. Oh, I have a aquaponics DIY building project waiting for when I get a minute. Ooh, I want to see pictures of that, Erin. I'm very interested in that. What was that? Oh, your son finished math. Oh yeah. So the calendar. So when I say we school year round, what's up, Vanessa and JH Walker? When I say that we school year round, it's not 8 to 3 every single subject. Usually the summertime, it's just more it's more of the, I shouldn't say fun stuff, but more the reading stuff, the more interesting things that I really want them to be learning. And it's usually like history and social sciences, with the exception of my oldest son where he was doing math. So it's just, we don't do the calendar, we don't do the 9 months, and the 36 weeks, and we don't do a typical school day. Okay. Let's see. Grades. I don't do grades. I don't care about grades. If Harvard don't care about grades and Stanford don't care about grades, I don't care about grades. And Google don't care about grades either, because they don't care about degrees. They want experience. So I've never been one for grades. We did grades when we were, in charter school. No, it's not important to me. Now, what I do is, not do, like say for writing or handwriting, I will look at what they're doing and say, okay, well, let me put it like this with the grades. It goes into my other thing that I don't do. I don't teach, with the exception of math, I don't teach subjects individually now. I really try to get that cross-curricular learning going, which is why I do a lot of that literature-based approach, and I do some unit studies. I try to integrate as many subjects as possible. I know in Europe they do it that way. All of their subjects are integrated, and it makes it easier to see the connections and the dots between all the subjects because it's all interconnected. So for me, to grow into like their English language arts or history, they can do that while reading historical fiction, right? Or for their writing, like for my youngest son, he had the weakest handwriting skills. Remember, he's the one who said, "Mom, can you help me draw?" So through his drawing and a little bit of journaling, his handwriting skills improved. So I don't have to have number one, a curriculum, and I don't have to split all the subjects up, and I don't do the grades because I can assess on site what they can do and what they're weak at or what they're hesitant, their emerging skills. I can see, what level that they're at. So I don't have to assign a grade. Now for my oldest one, I do have to give him grades because he has a transcript. But, it's, the classes that he takes, they give him grades, obviously. But for the social sciences and things like that, it's not a big deal for me. It's just I'm having conversations. As you can see, we talk a lot. I think conversations and listening to your child's thought process and listening to how your child arrives at a conclusion, how your child defends a conclusion, how persuasive your child is, that rhetoric stage in life, that's your grade. That's your assessment. That's always going to be going on. So no, I don't do grades. What say you? I know it's cute. I put stickers, like for my youngest one, I'll put some stickers or cute little stamps on his paper. Like my middle son, who's on the spectrum, it was important that I use a green pen and circle all the correct things. He just likes seeing a green circle. So, that's different. That's just, mentally he needed to see that to lift his spirits up. But like emotionally he needed that. But no, I don't do grades. Okay, let's see. Wait, but how do they get into university without grades? No. I'm saying my son. Oh, listen. Okay, so listen. T asks, how does your child get into university without grades? Especially here in California, you have an optional kind of admission, right? And usually those were reserved for special cases, but now it's kind of opening up more. So what that is, you can either test in, you don't worry about your grades. You can do your SAT subject test, you can do your AP test, you can clap into, with those scores. So you don't really need those grades. I'm not saying don't take classes. If you're taking a class that you're not teaching, chances are you're probably going to get a grade for that class. But for you as a homeschooler, if you are a private homeschooler and you're doing transcripts, you can look and see. That's why I said for high school, you're going to have a transcript. So you're going to need grades. But the colleges are looking beyond grades. They're looking at, and they're even phasing out test scores. There are actually a couple, I was just in a webinar, I think 2 months ago. There are a number of colleges where they're not requiring tests. There are other ways to get into admission. They're called alternative colleges. And you and they're not your little Rudy Poop kind of colleges. You can really go far and do well. And I'm going to have a video on that because I want to start chronicling our high school journey into college, if that's where my child eventually wants to land. So you can see what's working for us and what doesn't work. But yeah, I got too much information on that. But just know the trend is grades aren't really that important anymore. If you want to have your child, if your child is really interested in something and you think you can turn that into some kind of research or a project, something meaningful, whether it's a business or they're into science and they can hook up with a faculty member, whether it's at a university or a private lab, and do some independent research, and then just get you some books so you can prep for your SAT subject test or your AP AP classes, or do the AP exam, or do your CLEP. Watch out for CLEP because not all schools take those. But now CLEP's kind of making a comeback because of COVID. So you have lots of options where you don't have to worry about the grades. Trust me, okay? That's a whole nother topic. That's got to be a series. All right, we sleep into, my kids are 7 and 3. We start school around 11 o'clock. I know that's real. Get up when you want to. That's the beauty of being a homeschooler. You're like you're the CEO. And no one tells the CEO when to come in and when to take lunch. That's for the worker bees. So you don't have to worry about that. If you know that, say, 7, there's no pressure. That's, first grade or something like that. You want to get these subjects in. You don't have to spend 45 minutes per subject with your child. That's a public school mentality. So, take some time and see what your child's learning style is and your teaching style, how you marry that up, and then how long you guys can get through your subjects, okay? And then, factor in your other kids, things you got going on. You might work from home. You might got a dog that's got issues. So all of that. But yeah, and remember, you can always go into Saturday or Sunday. And, if you do it, let me tell you, when I used to teach in Japan, the one thing I was amazed with everybody, it wasn't like they were brilliant. Their work ethic was so strong because their routine and structure was on point. It was not negotiable. But here's the thing. When the kids are young, they just did little bite sizes every day. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here. It adds up. It's almost like compound interest. You don't think it's enough. It's enough. Trust me. I've seen it over and over again. And I know how our Asian brothers and sisters do. So obviously it's working. All right. I grade math by percentage. I make edits on writings and I teach to mastery, so I don't traditionally grade. Yes. So, and depending on you as a teacher, what you feel is most important and how you want to calculate, the work that they're doing. And some people want to teach to mastery. Some people, might prefer a spiral approach. It just really depends on your philosophy. And it also goes back to sitting down and putting that work in and learning, what is my teaching style, my child's learning style, and what kind of outcomes do I want? What's most important to me? You might grade one way in one subject and grade another way in another subject, or not grade in another subject at all. So there are lots of ways you can play around with it. Okay, let's see. Let's move on. Another thing I don't do, we don't work at grade level. We don't do grade level. I stopped doing that 100 years ago. My middle son, like right now, he's doing Beast Academy. He's at level 4. He's in 6th grade. And that stuff is hard. I'm like, woo, maybe I should have put you in level 3, because there are some parts that are very hard. It's college stuff that's embedded in there. So, so I'm like, you know what? We'll just skip this. I always call in my oldest one, come on, help us out. And then I'll call in my husband sometimes because he has a theoretical math degree. But he's so not patient. So, so you got to watch out about those grade levels. But we don't work at grade level. Remember when my past video on writing and rhetoric, I told you I started I think he was in 6th grade at the time, or 7th grade. I started him on like book 4 in the writing and rhetoric, or maybe book 5. And while my youngest one was doing book 1, I was so impressed with what he was learning and remembering and applying to the world. Oh my gosh. I was like, ah! All right, my sixth grader, we're going to book one. He never knew it was, you know, the third and fourth grade version, but it was so good. We went through it very fast. We skipped a lot of stuff, the grammar and everything, but that goes back to one of my previous videos where you make the curriculum work for you and not the other way around. So we don't work at grade level. Obviously, my oldest one doesn't. My youngest son, for phonics, he worked 2 grade levels behind because I needed him to be very solid in phonics. So he started having some hiccups with his reading that kind of came out of nowhere. And then I was like, oh, maybe his phonics was not as rock solid as I thought. Maybe I kind of skipped some things because I had a lot of kids. And, you know, once you have more babies, sometimes you kind of skimp on stuff. So we don't work at grade level. When I look at a curriculum, I see what it is. I'll start at the grade level they're at, and then I'll look a grade level below and a grade level above and see which one's going to kind of mesh well with them. Okay. Your new tradition. Yeah, the new tradition is Mandalorian. Mandalorian nights. I don't do anything in red ink ever. That red ink gave me PTSD from my school days. Boy, those teachers sure love to scribble, scrabble, all that red ink. That you know, I'm like, I'm over it. Yeah. Red, you know, red is just like, it's a lower vibration frequency color. So yeah, I don't know who came up with using red. Although the book, The Little Red Pen, is one of my kids' favorite books. Because she saves the world. Or she needs someone to save the world. So in that case, I like the red pen. But yeah, the red pen is a big no. Let's see. Hi, UAA 22. Okay, hi, Homeschool PP. Oh, hey, C Lady and Chantel. I also stay in bed because my back was ruined after my last pregnancy and I'm in the worst pain in the mornings. Thankful for homeschooling because I could not handle the morning rush for school. Y'all, we take homeschooling for granted. When my shoulder was messed up and I could barely walk, and oh my gosh, and I had to go to the bathroom, and then when it was that time of the month, I was dying. But I was like, you gotta be grateful because you don't have to get in your car and try to drive across town to a job with people who don't understand or care about what's going on with you. You don't have to worry about trying to explain this away or that. You know, we're really blessed to be able to be in the comfort of our home and take care of ourselves. So yeah, so being able to work your own schedule on your timetable is really, it's a blessing for us. Homeschooling is definitely a blessing. Much love to you of Numbers and Stars. Women go through a lot. Oh, well, hello, Disciple. Are you a guy? Well, if so, I think you're my second guy after Hassan. So welcome, welcome. We always have women in here strong, but the men, there are some men that homeschool. As a matter of fact, there is my good friend. She works at a charter school that I actually belong to. She has a family. It's a dad. He's got like 4 or 6 kids. They're all in college, but I think the oldest is like 16. They all started college at 12. This is the dad doing all of this. The dad is like Joe Jackson or Venus Williams' dad. You know, he's on it. You know, he's not crazy with the whip, but there are some dads out here that are amazing, and they are really putting the work in. As a matter of fact, my son's teacher, their PE nature teacher, he's got several black belts. He homeschools his daughter. So shout out to all the dads out there who are holding it down, because we have a lot of women in the education field. We definitely need more men. Okay, speaking as a mom with all boys. All right, library visits. I did those jaunts way back in the day. Our library, as much money as we pay in taxes over here, our library books were so grimy. Oh, I hated them. I would have to go to the city next to us because their books were just better. They always brought in newer books. And so I like that. But my kids always like to read books over and over again. And then I would forget to renew and I would pay all those fees. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to just burn our money and buy books. So, you know, I would go to the book sales at the libraries, friends of the library. I would go to eBay, garage sales, and then eventually Amazon. And back then it was Borders and stuff like that. And just amass a collection. But no, we don't do library visits anymore. Obviously now it's hard to do. In the beginning, you know, it was fun because the library always had other things going on. But after a while, we would just go to Barnes and Nobles just because I wanted some of the newer books. There were some really nice books out there. And our library, it just really sucked, or it was always checked out. So we stopped going to the library years ago. And there you go. So I know the library is a godsend for a lot of you guys. So I used to do it. It's just the thing I don't do anymore. Okay. But do you ever go back for the younger ones and reteach? Are you talking to me, UAA? What do you mean? Do I ever go back for the younger ones and reteach? If you're talking about just like if, you know, they're struggling in something, well, always. If you're paying attention to what you're teaching in your child, you'll see, you'll start to see those gaps, and you'll start to see that they're not retaining what they're learning. And so teaching is always reteaching, right? You're always reteaching. Sometimes you have to hit your kid 3 different ways before they catch it, you know? It's just like you might work out, or you like to eat, and there are 3 cooks, you know, you got Anna, Bobby Flay, and the Ethiopian guy. And they do cook different things, but say that there's a dish they all cook, you might just resonate one way with one person, maybe their personality or just how they sequence things and put them together. So you're always reteaching, you know, you're always, whether it's kind of immediately because you're seeing something's not working or they're not grasping it, or maybe a week later where you realize they really didn't get it, or you realize, oh my gosh, I could build on what we just did, but let me kind of tweak it a bit because now I have a little bit more understanding, or I had an epiphany. So let me go back and, you know, kind of not reintroduce it, but just like, you know, bring it back in with some extra cherries on top. So we're always reteaching. Yeah, your taxes are a killer. Heck yeah, man. And then, as you know, when we homeschool, we don't get the benefits of the public school. So our taxes are like, you know, just going out the window. So I'm like, how y'all gonna have some 1974 books? And like where I live, it's like 5 little cities right next to each other. And then the poorest city, they got the biggest, grandest, it's also a really big Asian community, and they take care of everything. I walk in there, it's like walking into Beverly Hills, Hilton, and the books are just amazing. But you know what? When your priorities are straight, you get things like that. See, our little city, they want to, like, you know, do the boardwalk and get all these businesses and developers and hotels. And over here in this neck of the woods, they're like, oh, we want the nature, we want the trails, we want the libraries, because you know, when you have a culture that that is strong, they have really strong cultural ties. You have institutions or places where, you know, a lot of the people hang out, from the babies to the oldest ones, and in that city, they built it to where the older people kind of hang out here. The library, everybody goes here. Over here is for the teens. Over here is for the younger ones. Here, the classes for the moms and the dads. So I hang out over there all the time. Those are my people. All right, what else? When teaching above grade level for younger ones. So when you're talking about reteaching, if you're reteaching, then you shouldn't be teaching above grade level. So you want to be at their level. First of all, you want to know what they know, okay? You want to give them some kind of assessment. So or you want to do a placement test. So say you want to teach math, you want to try a curriculum, or you just want to teach math. You don't know, like if you pull your kid out of public school, you don't know what they don't know or how solid they are on it. Remember my middle son, we spent 4 or 5 months on fractions. So that's how long it took for him to have mastery with dividing, multiplying, all of that with fractions, word problems. So if you're giving them something above grade level and you're having to reteach it, then you need to drop back down a grade level so you don't have to keep reteaching. When I say reteaching, I'm talking about you as a teacher reassessing how you taught. You might have to teach it a different way for them to really retain it. Okay. Sorry, sounds confusing. That's why we're here to ask questions. Yeah, no worries. Because I know sometimes, you know, I'm country and I don't take time to enunciate and stuff like that. And, you know, I use Ebonics and stuff like that. It's all good. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so okay, 2 more left. School in the schoolroom. Y'all see my homeschool room? Ask me how many times my kids have sat at those desks. About 2 times. Okay. They don't care about those desks. They're on the carpet most of the time. I got a nice plush shaggy carpet from Walmart, and it's so thick. The pile is really, really thick. It's actually pretty cheap too. And they're on the floor the whole time. They put blankets down. They're with the dogs. They do the work, or they're at the counter in the kitchen, or they're on the couch, or they're sitting on the stairs, or they're leaning over the banister. Yeah, I have some kids, they're just leaning over doing stuff. You know, they're in my room. Sometimes they come in here to try to get away from their brothers. They don't use their desk. We don't use our schoolroom. As I said in that video, that homeschool tour, I'm probably going to reclaim that space and make it like a little hangout place or something like that, because no, I got too many books. I'll figure something out, but those desks need to go. No, because once I get rid of the desk, Mom, where's my desk? You know how kids are. C-Lady came in late. Writing rhetoric is pretty solid language arts. Yes, it does mix in grammar and with the writing, although I like how they mix in the grammar with it, but we have a separate grammar program. Quick sidebar, someone asked about how I use writing and asked about how I use Michael Clay Thompson's Grammar Island with well-ordered language. I'm having a video on that, how you combine 2 different curricula together to get the best outcome. Because remember, it's, you know, you chop it up, everything, and make it work for you and not the other way around. All right, so no, so we don't use, you don't need a schoolroom. I know you go onto YouTube, you see everyone with these schoolrooms, homeschool room tours. I was faking the funk. My kids are on the floor or they're everywhere else in the house. So that room is totally unnecessary. All you need is a solid surface, some light, and your child, and get to going, okay? Get to going. So we don't do school in the schoolroom. And then actually my last 2, I don't limit screen time. Well, not as much as you would think. Number 1, my kids do online classes, and not like my oldest one, his classes are not Zoom based. They're a little bit more interactive. My younger 2, their classes are Zoom based. But they, like for math, they do Beast Academy. For, let's see what else. I think that's kind of it for like academic stuff. But no, I don't limit screen time that much. They earn it though, okay? They have to put the work in. I know that's a big incentive for my kids. So if they want something, or if they want to get out of a chore, they have to earn it. So with screen time, there are things they have to do to earn it. If they weren't taxed this week because they didn't drop their dirty clothes on the floor instead of the basket, which is right next to them, or they showed brothership, just things like that, they can earn screen time. So I don't, and also, in all honesty, I have a couple businesses. I do consult. I help a lot of families out, moms, and you know, then I homeschool, and then I'm always planning at least 2 years ahead for my kids. So, and that's a lot of information for me to manage and to synthesize. And then I love to read. Like if you look at my bookshelf here, I have a couple hundred books here. So all of those things are competing for my time and my energy. So on the weekends, I'm like, if you did what you needed to do this week, be mindful with what you're going to do this weekend, you know. But sometimes I have to come in and say, hey, go take a break, you know, go outside, go throw the ball with the dog. But I don't limit screen time as much because there is a lot of great learning and education on the apps and in some classes. So I don't limit screen time as much is what I should say. I know there are some parents who are like, nope, we don't do screen time at all. I used to be that way. We would only do screen time on the weekends. Now I've loosened that up. And if they really want to get some screen time during the week, they have to really do something to earn it. Okay, let's see what else. And then finally, full disclosure here. I wonder if I have it here. I have my mega homeschool planner, and this is poor planning on my part because I don't, oh, it's way over there. I have a mega homeschool planner. It's beautiful. It's over 60 pages. I put it out. I gave it away for free last year. Now it's in my store, but don't go there yet because I got to revamp my store. It's like $15. I got everything in that planner for you to be successful. I don't lesson plan as much. Now, let me explain that. Lesson planning. We're about to have some real talk. I watched a lot of y'all homeschool moms. I'm not talking about y'all in the chat. I watch y'all. And I noticed when you're going through your lesson planner, you forget that we can see all the other months prior to the one you're talking about. And I don't see nothing written on those pages. Or I might see a few little doodles to pretend like you were doing something. But you're not really lesson planning. I know the game. That's why you don't see a lot of moms, a lot of homeschoolers, where they're actually lesson planning with you. Or if they are, it's very curated. And maybe they did it for like a whole little week just to show you. But they're not, that's not a routine for them, okay? I lesson planned because I had no choice. I had a child on the spectrum who had almost 30 hours a week of therapy. And then I had a child up here where, you know, we had issues with, you know, professionals wanting him tested, that going into like Vincent, all that kind of stuff. And then I had my baby. And then I was in grad school. I had to be laser focused. I had to lesson plan because I needed to know what was going on. But, and then I have a background as a teacher. In all honesty, now if you're just starting out, lesson plan so you can kind of just get an overall picture of what's going on, you know, what you're doing. What I do is journal-based planning, okay? So what that means is after the day is over, I'll pull out my planner and I'll make notes, anything that stood out, something that, you know, I think my kid needs to work on this again, or something good like, oh yeah, he really nailed this. Let me add on to this. Or, okay, in my Evermore books, I recycle the books sometimes. And in one of the books, my son, he likes to write in erasable pen. But for like a whole 2 weeks, he didn't have one. So he just wrote in a regular pen. So with my youngest one who was using the book, because he didn't finish the book, he went on to something else, I couldn't erase anything. And so, oh man, I might have to replace this book. So just things like that. So I'm like, okay, I got to order, you know, this book. So I write down little notes like that because basically their work, you know, it's in a book. So all we do, I put a bookmark in it, and then the next day we just go to the next page. There's not a lot of planning there. The planning comes from if I need materials or if there's like for science, I do have to plan that because, you know, I have to have things. Okay, sorry. I have to have things ahead of time to do the experiments. So yeah, science, you know, there is some planning if you're doing experiments. Anything hands-on, like a unit study, yes, you have to plan. But lesson planning, I like to make a 30-day lesson planner, if you will, and just kind of pinpoint certain things if it's a new curriculum or if I'm mixing two curriculum because I don't have a groove yet. I don't know how it's going to look. So once I do that, after about a month, if I find I'm in a little groove, then I can go on autopilot. And then I just go, okay, I know Mondays, Wednesdays, I do this. After this, I do that. And then I kind of know. And then I just jot down things afterward. Like, okay, we need to do this. Make sure you watch this video that goes with this or, you know, whatever. So, but that daily lesson planning, I know I'm always telling you about my free daily lesson planner. I don't need that anymore because I know what's coming and going. I need it for supplements to what I'm doing, or if I have something that's new and I'm mixing it. And then after that, I can fall back off of that and just ride the flow, the rhythm. Okay, does that make sense? So, what do you guys do? I know some people, they have to plan every single day, or they plan out a week in advance or 6 weeks in advance. Some people plan out a year in advance. The only real lesson planning I would do is for field trips and activities, so I can make sure everything matches at the same time. So, but as far as, taking a writing book and then my planner and then writing, okay, Monday, page 92. Okay, Tuesday, page 93, 94. Wednesday, page 9. No, that takes too much time. It's really not necessary. All you have to do is maybe for the whole week, draw a line and write pages 90 to 95. Make sure to use or watch Brain Pop video on declarative sentences. And that's it. So you gotta make it easy on yourself. But if you're new, write stuff down so you can get used to thinking it out, talk it out. And then you can do the more Jedi, sophisticated stuff that, the veterans are doing. Okay. My 4-month homeschooling. Oh, this is my 4th month homeschooling, and I have not lesson planned. Still learning our flow. Exactly. Don't worry about the lesson plan in UAA. Get your flow. If you're coming out of public school, that's your detox phase. They say for every year in public school, detox 1 month, relearn your kids, and you do some little research to see as you're learning your kids, what kind of curriculum you might be interested in. If you are, depending on the ages of your kids, and enjoy your kids. If all else fails, read. With reading, you can learn so much in math. Like our math curriculum is reading based. Obviously, reading, writing. Our writing is reading based. You can cover all the disciplines through books if all else fails. So while you're in this getting to know you phase with your child, get you some good books, right? I need to do a video on my top whatever books for each subject. That's kind of like literature based or like a picture book, okay? Because that, you just cuddle up with your kids, get to know your kids again, and, have them read in funny voices, or, read and go run around, or, paint a toenail, whatever the girls do, just reconnect with your kids. All right, let's see. All right, it is, we're in here an hour and a half. Okay, I'll do a couple more, but that was my last popular things that I don't do. Now, if you guys have some popular things that you don't do, put it in here, because I think I covered a lot. I try to plan out at least a week. So if we don't get everything done for the week, I just drag it to the next. Yep, I stopped over planning because it didn't work out. Listen, I got a video on homeschool burnout. That is one of the number one reasons why we burn out, because, as a matter of fact, I recorded that video a couple of days ago. It's because we're over planning, we're doing too much, we're cramming in too much, and we just have this constant sense of failure and anxiety because we're not getting it done. We're in that hamster wheel, and you might as well be, in public school, dealing with 7 different teachers and their attitudes and their non-communication with you, and, the stress, and then the fundraising, and, the activities, all of that. So, hey, Chronic Reader, good to see you, love. So, what I think I might do, and I might make I do have a Patreon. I just never put it up, but I would like to do planning lessons, like, beginner level planning lessons, and more, I don't want to say advanced, but, or better. And I shouldn't say veteran, because veteran homeschoolers, a lot of them don't lesson plan, but just, more complex lesson planning, if you will. You get into loop planning and block planning, those were scheduling actually, but for lesson planning, just getting into, how do you, even write out a lesson plan when you have multiple kids and all the subjects, and, how do you keep track of grades, and, if your child has any issues, learning issues, how do you, factor in certain things that you need to do to help that out. So, and all that goes into the lesson planning, because that's an integral part of it. So, but that needs to be live. That's something where I cuss sometimes. I know it might bother some people, but just slight little feminine little outbursts here and there. I'm just real. So I would rather be like on Patreon where we can like let our hair down and we can like talk freely and you can have some drinks, snacks, whatever. And I would have my streaming service where you can actually see my screen and my planner. And I'll show you, hey, this is what I'm doing this week. It's going to look ugly, but it is what it is. It's going to get done. And then I can look at yours. You can hold yours up and I can look at it and say, okay, you know, are you sure you can do 8 subjects this week and have 5 activities? And, sometimes it's like being realistic at what, you have on your plate, I came in at the right time for the burnout conversation. Oh, that's going to be, for some reason on the poll, homeschool burnout comes in 3rd on the list. So I think that might be the next one that we cover because I think it's slowly moving up in the polls. So when we do homeschool burnout, that's going to be a good one. That's a real one. I was going through that mildly, but then I got out of it because I planned and prepped for that. And so when it started coming, like there were a lot of unexpected things happening to me. And so I was ready for the first wave, like the first contraction, the first labor contraction. And then like when I'm pregnant, when I'm in labor, I actually get nauseous and I throw up. Never knew that was going to happen for each child. So I was ready with the contractions and then the nauseousness came. I was like, oh Lord, no. It's like being on the Titanic going through Hurricane Harvey. And then the next wave, and then the vomit came out. And then I was like, oh no, it's all of that with Yellowstone erupting on top of all of that. So I wasn't ready for all that. So with my burnout, it was like I was ready. My defenses were ready for the first 2 little hiccups. Then when the 3rd and the 4th one came, I was like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work. But I was able to pull through. So anyway, if there are no more comments, if there are no other things that you don't do anymore or that you used to do or you never ever intend on doing, let me know. I think I covered everything. Nope, that's it. So let me see. Yes, burnouts can happen. Y'all listen, in the homeschool world, we have 2 periods where burnout is real, which is around this time leading into the holiday season. And then kind of around February, that's when everyone's starting to try to get ready for the next school year. They're ordering or looking at curriculum. Everyone's putting out what they're doing, their plans. And then like you see how their plans are changing throughout. It could be really overwhelming, especially if each year you're teaching something new. Like with my younger 2, I've been there, done that a couple of times. But for my oldest one, every year is something new that I haven't done or been exposed to. So that's more work on my part. So, and then, just things going on in your life. And with COVID, not being able to get out and do things, a lot of clubs, activities, sports, dance lessons, all of that is like pretty much shuttered. So just being, enclosed, just psychologically, the whole world is feeling burnout. So we got to hang in there. Can you post the names of some other homeschool people to follow that you recommend? And you mentioned a couple. Yes, Vanessa. Erica from My Busy Bees and Me, she's homeschooled from kindergarten to college, to high school. And she's funny and she's very practical. She's very honest and real. I really, really like her. Her YouTube channel is My Busy Bees and Me, and her IG is the same. Her name is Erica. Sean, the homeschool guru. She's out of Texas. Shout out to my Texas girls. I'm from Texas. She is Sean, SHAUN, the homeschool guru. That is her name on IG and on YouTube. She's kind of new to YouTube, but she kills it on IG. But go to her YouTube page and support her and subscribe. I'm choosing the moms who have homeschooled from kindergarten to high school because they've covered it all and they've seen it all. Homeschool on the Hill. She's on YouTube. Homeschool on the Hill. That's Candace. she's helped me a lot with my social studies picks and things like that, and all her monthly updates. Oh my gosh, there's so many, but off the top, those are the ones I always watch. I've been getting a little bit into unschooling. Tori from the Oglesby, Ohana. Tori, I always forget how to spell that the first name. I think it's Oglesby, but if you do something close to that and then put Ohana, which is a Hawaiian word, Ohana, it should come up. Her name is Tori, Torrie. She's got so much energy. She's got littles. I think she has an older one. No. Her kids are little. They're all in elementary. So for those of you with the younger ones, she would be great. She's an unschooler, but she is like, I don't want to offend anyone, but she's like a disciplined homeschooler. Let me see. I'm trying to hit all kind of the different grade levels. I know Simply Loving It. I follow her. Homeschool On. There's a list. I should make a video of my favorite YouTubers that I follow. They put out reliable content. If they make a mistake or if something doesn't work, they're honest enough and they'll come back and let you know. That's important to me. And then I know I'm forgetting some people. I see their names at the tip of my brain, but that's enough to get you going, definitely, for sure. And some of those that I've named, they've been on YouTube for like 10 years, so they have a whole body of work, so you can really see, you can really get a lot of your questions answered just by going back into the archive of their videos. Okay, I hope that helped you, Vanessa. Anyone else? Hey, Michelle Vibes. Thank you for coming in. Chantel. So if that's it, I'm going to go and, y'all, I was supposed to be fasting, but I forgot because I didn't prep for it. So when I was making lunch for my son, I made lunch for me. I was like, wait a minute, something don't feel right. I'm supposed to be detoxing and doing 1 meal a day and then transitioning to a 7-day fast, but I totally forgot. So I'm gonna eat tonight because it's Mandalorian. I went to Trader Joe's and I got those almond kringles, those Danish pastries. So I'm going to enjoy that. So I'm gonna get out of here. Next week, I may or may not have a Friday. I'll let you know. So if you're subscribed, if you're not, subscribe. And I'll leave a post if I'll have a Friday show. You let me know if you want a Friday show. I'll put a poll up if you want to do a Friday show. But right now, just taking account, if you want a Friday show, it's the day after Thanksgiving. Put a 1 in the chat and we'll do one. But it's got to be a good topic. It doesn't have to be homeschool, y'all. It could be motherhood stuff, womanhood. We don't just have to keep it to homeschool because I know a lot of y'all are women, right? We got woman issues. We got motherhood issues. So we don't just have to talk about homeschool. Yeah, you know what? We should open Friday Hot Topics to like really anything. So if you guys want to add some different topics in, go on and do that because Lord knows I'm on some of these Facebook groups. Woo! If I had some popcorn. But we're not going to be messy and drama filled. But if you guys have some things that you want to talk about, we'll do that. All right. So we got Chronic, Love, Vanessa, Hassan. Counts me out. Where you going, Hassan? You ain't going nowhere. We need you, man. We need some male energy in here, Hassan. Oh. Yeah, Hassan, I don't even know if you're married. But for all my single moms out there, Hassan, if you're not married, y'all might want to check out Hassan's profile. It's a real outstanding, upright brother. And he looks very good for his age. He might be 200 years old, but he looks like he's in 5th grade. So anyway, Diana, hey, love. All right, so I'm up for doing a Friday. Like, we don't really celebrate Thanksgiving. We do eat. And I watch football because I'm from Texas. But on Friday, I'll be making money with my businesses. So I'll get, my little work in, and then I'll pop in, burping and, slurping and all kind of stuff. I'll be enjoying myself. So we can all do that together. But, I'm going to put a poll up and you guys just give me some ideas. You'll have to put it in the comments. So just give me some topics that you're interested in. It does not have to be homeschool based. It could be woman based, motherhood based, anything based. Okay. So let me know. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go eat something, and Oh, and speaking of entrepreneurial spirit, my lovely niece, she has been growing her Tumblr business, Kay's Creations, Kayz, and then Kreationz. That's that millennial spelling. And this is heavy too. It's beautiful. I have about 5 different mugs, like, different kinds of styles. Go check out her IG account or profile, whatever you call it. And she's got some fall tumblers out. She just put out a Louis Vuitton one for all you brand conscious folks out there. Like, I don't really care about the Chanel. I just like the color coordination, but this should have been teal. But I have another teal one coming. But yeah, so go check out a young entrepreneur. She's in nursing school and she running a business. So go support my lovely niece. The mugs are different prices. It just depends on the size and then what kind of top you want, whether you want like a coffee lid cup or if you want like a straw for like smoothies. But go check out my niece. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to put this in my community section. My good friend, she's in grad school, or she's in a certificate program, and she's doing a survey on homeschoolers. And if she could get your feedback, it's like a real quick survey, less than 5 minutes. She's getting feedback on, I think she's targeting African American homeschoolers. She's trying to figure out why, we are leaving public schools and private schools in droves and deciding to homeschool. So I think that might be her thesis coming up, but right now she's gathering the intel. So she sent me the survey. I don't know if that was the one she wanted me to give you, but I will put the survey in the community tab, or next Friday, I'll put a link in it where you can go to it and do it. And if you do it, I'll try to figure out a way to like maybe give you guys like a really nice freebie or something like that, just as a way of saying thanks to help her out. Because as you know, a lot of Black homeschoolers, I mean, a lot of us Black families are homeschooling. I'm seeing a lot from when I started, almost 13, 12 years ago. And so peoples want to know why. So, they always in our business. But anyway, so that's it. That's all my plugging. Alma, how do you say your name? Alma Awiyu? It sounds lovely. Loving the breaking bread. You like the bread? My sister said it was kind of corny, but what does she know? She's all, I think she secretly likes it. It's a big baguette. I like it. We got to break bread. So I like it. See, sis, I told you she was like, why are you doing the bread? What's with the bread? Like, it's like breaking bread before you start your dinner conversation or something like that. So the people have spoken, big sis. All right. Thank you. Just completed my 3rd week homeschooling. Oh my gosh, you just broke your cherry. Welcome. Boxing Zebra. Your channel is awesome. Thank you, my dear. Wow. So this is your 3rd week. You must just pull your kids from public school. Listen, we should have a talk for the moms, the new moms or dads who pulled their kids out, because, everything's coming at you full force. That's a lot, so you definitely need your tribe around you. Okay. So Boxy, I was telling someone earlier who asked about some other YouTubers, Erica from My Busy Bees and Me, Sean the Homeschooling Guru. Their names are the same on their YouTube channel and their IG channel. Go watch them and start, soaking in all that wisdom and the jewels that they're giving. Okay, and of course my channel as well, but they'll help you. And they go live every week, so you'll have a chance to really talk to them and get your questions out there. Okay, and Erica does consultations. I don't know if Sean does. I'm pretty sure she does, but just go to their IG accounts. Tell them I sent you. And go start building your tribe. All right. What's up, Cindy? All right. So I'm going to get out of here. Yes. A new homeschool chat. What did I miss? Chronic reader. Oh, you want a new You want a new homeschool chat? Wait, Chronic, state that again. Restate that, please. I always say that to my kids. Restate that. I didn't get it. And I really did, but I need to say it a different way to make sure they know what they're really saying. Oh, you're welcome, Hassan. Okay, y'all nice. Oh, y'all nice. Oh, Mug got it. Yes. Man, listen. There are so many ways to make money out here nowadays. I'm like, she's replacing her income. You know, she's in nursing school and she was working at Home Depot. She's replacing her income. She gets a lot of orders. Like my sister showed me pictures of the house because my niece has totally taken over the dining room, and with all the little apparatus and the whatever they use to the turn and churn or whatever. And I'm like, wow, you can leave your job now. You surpassed your income. You are doing really, really well. So, you know, you guys got kids, or you know, you might start looking at things you like or things you might be interested in and see if you can make some money off of that. Okay. No, I was agreeing that we needed to have a conversation for the new homeschool parents. Oh, yes, yes. So, yeah, just remind me. That's something definitely. I can go live maybe this weekend. Definitely during next week, we can go live and talk to the newbies. I might just have a separate live just for the newbies. Anybody can come, but definitely the newbies can come with their questions or for moral support. Priya! Oh my gosh, Karen and I were talking about you a while back. I'm gonna text you later on. I'm gonna do it tomorrow because I'm watching Mandalorian. But I'm gonna text you tomorrow. I hope you and the boys are doing well. Marshawn, hello, first time here. I'm also a homeschool mom. Well, welcome. Is it? Wait, Mars home? Hold on. Let me this contact. Is it Marshawn? Marshawn Lifestyle? Well, however you say it, welcome. And I hope I'm saying it right. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. Almost 2 hours. And I'm going to have to break this video up into little clips and put it on YouTube because nobody's watching a 2-hour video. So I'm going to I'll probably spend my weekend breaking this up. You guys had lots of great content. I love talking with you guys and hanging out with y'all. I really enjoy that. So I'm going to get out of here. Take all these clothes off and the jewelry and the hair and all that and get comfortable. So I love you guys. Don't forget your freebies. You got 2 of them. The daily homeschool checklist. Yes, still use that even though I don't lesson plan. You need to. And your number of the day, which looks like this. Now, look, I make these guys. I usually make them about 2 hours before I go on live, which is why I'm sometimes late. But listen, I do that because I try to avoid burnout. So that's how I get down. So if I come on late, it's because I'm avoiding burnout. That's my excuse. But this is the number of day. This is for 3rd and 4th graders. I have it all the way up to algebra, but that's going to be some paid versions. But this is free. This is just something. Just print these out. Print a week's worth at a time, and then choose a 4-digit number, any digits. Can y'all see that on IG? And then work with your child. I'm going to make the instructions for this. But remember, I did this like 2 hours before I came on. I'll make the instructions to go with this. And then and I'll make an example page. Okay. So you'll have the instructions and then you'll see me fill one out. And then that way you'll know how to do it. And then this is something, you know, you can give to your kids. They can work, you know, do it with them a couple of times and then let them go on autopilot and do it. And then I do have it for like the kinder stage. But again, this one was just free. So I just pulled out. I only had time to make it for 1 or 2 grade levels. All right. So go get that. If you're on IG, mosey on over to my YouTube page and go to the live, the latest video, and the freebies will be there. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you guys. I love this tribe, and you definitely make it worth me going through all of this, the lights, the setup, and everything. I really appreciate y'all's support. So I'm out of here. Miles, you're late, baby. You're late, but that's okay. We're going to go. But mosey on over to my YouTube channel, and you can get your freebies there. Now, listen real quick. Because you are my diehards, I want y'all to have the freebies. So I'm only going to leave the freebies up for like a couple of days, maybe like 48 hours after the live to give you time to get the freebie. And then I'm going to pull the link. So all the Johnny come latelys, they're going to miss out. So it's only for my diehards who come religiously every Friday at 4 whenever I get on. This is for y'all, okay? So just so y'all know, and I'll put in the community tabs. Y'all better come on and get your freebies before they're gone. All right? And now I'm gone. Love y'all. Mwah. Mwah. Oh, Miles, don't worry about it. Catch the playback and yeah, just watch the playback and try to catch us next week. I think I'm going to do a bonus live next week. So you'll have another chance. You'll have another chance. But yeah, catch the playback on YouTube. I'm still trying to figure out how to load the videos up on IG. But go get your freebie, okay? You got 2 freebies, all right? Peace out. Oh, am I still on? End.